What's going on, y'all? Let's check out this update from Upchurch. See what's happening in these streets. Don't forget to hit the hype button.
You know, I was thinking this morning, I was like, man, there's a huge uproar about people wanting to know about aliens. But don't nobody want to, watch for themselves. And I thought to myself, I was like, you hear these stories of, these groups, mysterious groups of people, people called the Watchers. And I'm like, dude, it was some people who observed, who legit just watched and learned. It's that simple. The Watchers. The people who just watched, learned, evaluated, observed. Now, look how many people are not watching, learning, observing. They're not doing any of that. They're yelling, we want the answers. What is the fun in just somebody else telling you everything? You're not going to believe it anyway. You're going to continue to be like, that ain't true. And you're still going to be asking for answers. But eventually you're going to have to watch and make your own assumption. But people have watched so much shit on the internet that a component of their bodily function that they need to observe properly has stopped working. Gut instinct has stopped working. Now people are watching and observing without their gut instinct, their second brain. Not only that, if you're given the answers, or if you're given the full explanation on what this alien thing is, there's no room left for wonder. There's no room left for ideas. There's no room left for conversations. If you have no conversations or anything to talk about the most mysterious thing that is talked about on this planet right now, then what the fuck else? What else are you going to talk about? Nothing. If everyone was told exactly what aliens, supernatural, extraterrestrials was, dude, the world would instantly become the most boring place ever.
I do think that's true. I don't think that we're meant to know everything, right? I do believe that that's the case, right? We should know every detail. Yeah, nah. That takes a lot of, I guess you could say, just the joy of life itself out of it. Maybe I'm crazy, you know?
Plus, who's to say it's not slightly different for everyone else? How is it any fun if you just skip everything and know all the answers? What if it's something that can't be told to you? What if it's something that has to be experienced through you watching instead of yelling and screaming and asking for answers? What if it's unlocked by you just calmly observing, watching, and sharing ideas? What if these entities, energies, whatever, are monitoring our society? And what if they only come in contact with people who take the time to observe and appreciate what it is? You think they're going to come to the person who's like, we want answers. We want answers. Yeah, you're going to be the last person to get any answers or any experience. You know, we have all these talks about, right now the main talking points are UFOs, aliens, these entities or aliens, whatever you want to call them, coming in contact with humans. And then it's energy weapons. And then it's these stories you hear, right? So if it has to do with energy and entities, and possibly this energy or entity coming in contact with a human, then technically it will be changing your electrical current in your body that we obviously all have, right? The example of changing your electrical current is you grabbing a cow fence and shocking yourself. It hurts. But maybe there's another form of that seeps in your skin like lotion and you don't even know it, right? You start to notice it. Or you start to notice it about other people. That's why I think it's funny when people say, so what do these aliens look like? How about we ask, what do they act like? You know? I mean,
as much as I do think that there's aliens out there, I wouldn't think that they were friendly. Maybe that's just me just being unfair. I would think they were far from friendly. Just personally. Right? Maybe it's that old Twilight Zone episode that that I've seen, to where it's like, all right, they might have us for dinner and not for dinner. But yeah, I still wouldn't trust aliens.
you have more information about humans changing or evolving or becoming different after they come in contact with these so-and-so aliens. Why don't we focus on that? Everybody's still looking at the sky. Why don't you look at the person who says, hey, I've come in contact with these people or these things? How are they different from everyone else? How do they function different? How do they act? For instance, like, I personally think that undeniable resilience is probably something that will be different about people, and not just getting on the internet and being like, oh, I don't care about what people say. No. I mean, like, actually going through it and having all these people trying to destroy you and break you down mentally, and it just does not even put a dent in your psychology of your life. It does nothing to you. There's something there. Because right now, pretty much the whole world is dismantled by words. So yes, somebody who can have anything said to them and have everyone hate them, and they just smile like they don't hear anything, and then their actions follow up with, they don't care. And they just still keep going no matter what. That's different, especially in today's age. Or these people who were like, hey, I had this like subconscious thing come in my brain and tell me, hey, this is going to happen. And then like 14, and then everybody's like, this is crazy. And like 14 years later, very specifically, what they said 14 years prior happens to a T. And everybody's like, how'd you know that? And he's like, I already told you. My subconscious was like, hey, I gotta tell you a secret. What is that? I don't know. It's definitely alien. And while we're on the topic of like energy and disclosing all this alien, what if there's a group of people that figured out, sort of, if you ask me personally, I don't think this whole alien thing can be figured out all the way. I don't think it's meant to be. I think we're supposed to get to a certain understanding of it, and then we're supposed to appreciate it. I don't think we're supposed to like play with it or take it for granted or abuse the abilities it gives you. I think that's absolutely what you don't do. But I think there's people who have tried doing it. The reason I say that is because you hear these stories of like people coming in contact with stuff and nothing happens to them except for their mental ability goes up, like mysteriously. Then there's these other forms of abductions, not experiences, abductions, where it's like someone who knows a little bit of the math is doing human experiments, but they're a human themselves. And it's almost like they're trying to do what this entity or energy is able to do, but it's having the opposite effect, using the same, like using energy and stuff. And it's giving people like cancer and like radiation damage. And it's like, okay, well, that probably came from somebody playing Mr. I'm an entity type instead of the actual entity doing it, because we don't know how to do it like them. I don't think we can do it like them. I think we can open ourselves to these things, and I feel like they can become like comfortable with us once they can like see the timeline of who we are, where we're going, and what's going to happen. And then they choose these people to upgrade. And they upgrade certain people. And if you don't meet their requirements, they don't upgrade you. And what if these entities of Earth, these guardians of Earth, the Watchers, whatever you want to call them, what if they're underliningly sending signals through us at certain people in government that may have tried to play them and like do what they're doing, which is like against their rules or whatever? And what if they're sending a message right now and they're like, okay, you want to play like us? Okay. We're going to put information in humans to speak out and share their ideas and speak against the people that are running these human experiments that you are not supposed to be doing. And we're also going to watch over these people and make sure you don't fuck with them. And if you do fuck with them, it's going to have a reverse effect on you and your life and your bloodline. So go for it.
That'd be some
dude. What if that's the case? Which is why we can't know everything. We can only know who's tried to take these entities like way of moving energy, and they've tried to do it themselves, and it's caused a problem. What if that's what they want highlighted? What if they don't want everyone knowing everything? They just want you to know who's being stingy with it and trying to abuse that power. Because if you abuse that power, you abuse the earth. If you abuse the earth changes for the worse. And maybe they've just been watching. They're going to make sure that don't happen.
Imagine that. That would be some ish. I told you guys how I feel about aliens and whatnot. Got my heating pad all lopsided. But tell me what you guys' opinion is down in the comment section. Hit the hype button, all that good stuff.